Hey, what's up, every guy? What am I saying? Hey, what's up, everyone? Every guys, how y'all doing? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? We got something here that I was thinking of making a show tomorrow, but I said we'll probably do a live and then we'll probably do a show about it tomorrow. I guess we have to wait and see. I'm also not going to be screaming this time around. People told me that I need to calm down during these lives and all of that, so I'm not going to be screaming. You don't have to worry about it, but we have a really good show in store for you guys here. So let's just get into it. First of all, as you guys know, last night we did a live show reacting to the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime performance. I didn't care much for the game itself, to be honest with you. I'm not such a big football fan, and the game itself was quite boring. I only watched the first half because I wanted to see the halftime show. And then I saw like a what seemed like a country group performing, and I'm like, man, did I get it wrong or whatever? But anyway, I then ended up catching the performance. Hey guys, how you doing? He said, "Griff A. Smith is back." So I caught the performance right because we had been covering it all throughout the week. And when I tuned in, I got to say, I was really first of all, the first thing that started that happened with me was I found myself dancing on my couch, right? I was dancing, I was grooving, I was enjoying it. I had a few favorite parts. My favorite part was one when he was dancing on top of the car. I love that the song. I don't know what he was saying, but I love the song. Then there was the one when he was climbing like the light poles or whatever it was. I love that part of the show. I thought it was fantastic. That part of the show. And then I thought it was a great show, but I knew that there was going to be a lot of reaction afterwards, right? I knew there was going to be a lot of reaction. So we all reacted to it today. But one of the people that I was very curious to hear from was Stephen A. Smith because he was at the Super Bowl weekend and all of that. So he ended up releasing a show on his podcast, the Stephen A. Smith show, right? Straight Shooter. So I then said, okay, well, let me hear what Stephen A. Smith has to say about the show. Given the fact that Trump had already made those disgusting comments about the Obamas, I said in that show that I will bet any money that within a week or two, Stephen A. Smith will be back defending President Trump. So, what I want to do, I want to play the sound of Stephen A. Smith's analysis of what he saw and how he began to spew some of these right wing talking points. And then in the midst of that, he starts going into, man, well, this performance wasn't even all that. It wasn't Kendrick Lamar. It wasn't Coldplay. It wasn't. I'm like, what is going on here? So I want to play the sound. We're not going to play the video, but we will play the sound for you guys because we don't own the copyright to it. So let me just get to the sound here that I want to play for you guys because, it really bothered me, and it seemed like Stephen A. Smith missed the entire point of the show and the messaging that Bad Bunny was trying to get across. So let's get into the sound here of what he had to say. So let me just go to the part where he said it. Okay, so this is the part here.
Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Let me get to something that may be deemed controversial. It's not to me personally, but it is to a lot of people. And that was the Super Bowl halftime show by Bad Bunny.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll show it to
which
you.
was primarily sang almost entirely in Spanish. We saw Lady Gaga performing, obviously in English. We saw them dancing. I got to admit, the vibe was fly. I really, really liked the vibe. You understand what I'm saying? This is why the Hispanic population, my brothers and sisters, they should be loved. I'm telling you right now, they know how to party. They know how to have a damn good time. Ain't no doubt about it. He had that vibe. It was flowing the whole nine. I love how the president of the United States was acting like he wasn't going to watch, but he was watching. There's a video out on social media of him actually watching the Super Bowl halftime show. And by the way, while he was watching it, then he naturally took time to insult it in the aftermath of revealing that he watched it, because we know that's what Trump is inclined to do. There's no doubt about it. Bad Bunny, here's what he had to say. The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever. It makes no sense. is an affront to the greatness of America. It doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying. And the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history. There is nothing inspirational about this mess of a life of a halftime show. And watch, it will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what is going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule. Make America great again. President Donald J. Trump. Let me be very candid, yet very straight up about what I'm going to say. I will tell you that I'm going to elaborate a little bit more extensively on my YouTube show about some other things the president has said just over the last couple of days, along with some other stuff, but this ain't the platform for politics. Here's what I would say about the Super Bowl halftime show. I'll address President Trump and his best stock market comment and best 401ks in history comment. Oh, I'll address that. But he does have a point where he says that people are going, when he alludes to the mess of a halftime show, it will get great reviews from the fake news media. You're going to have people that are going to be raving about the halftime show simply because they want to be anti-Trump and anti-right and all of this other stuff. That ain't me. I don't give a damn. I'm fair-minded down the middle. I think it was a damn good show. I think the vibe was fly. I agree with J.J. Watt, former NFL star, future Hall of Famer, that said, I didn't understand that. I understand the word they were saying. No. Was it a pretty damn good vibe? Oh, hell yes. He's absolutely right. I 1,000% flow with J.J. Watt on this. But that first comment, here's my only reticence. You're in the United States of America, and you perform damn near an entire performance in Spanish. Boy, do I wish. I mean, I'm so in love with the Spanish language. I don't know why I stopped studying it in school. One of my biggest regrets of all time. Damn it, I'm going to try to take me some Spanish lessons. Okay? But if you didn't understand Spanish, you were lost. And most Americans don't understand Spanish. So when Trump sits up there and says, even though he's maligning it, I'm not, because I was still enjoying myself, even though I didn't understand the words he was saying, I was still flowing with it, and I still enjoyed it because the music was fly. And the performance was cool. And me personally, I didn't have any problem with the dancers, just for the record. Didn't bother me. Didn't bother me at all. Okay, let me be very, very clear. Okay? But the flip side to it is that it was primarily in Spanish. And if most people don't understand the lyrics because you're speaking it in what they deem to be a foreign language, that is a legitimate point that the president made. That part. That doesn't mean they had a problem with it. I'm just saying his statement that most people didn't understand anything he was saying. And during the times that we're living in, even though give Bad Bunny major, major love, because he brought up a whole bunch of Hispanic nations, including Venezuela, Guatemala, Puerto Rico, which I love, by the way. Just a half hour and 45 minutes from St. Thomas.
Ready to lead the future of AI and business?
Just a second. It's almost done. I want you to hear the end of it.
I love it. But people, there's millions upon millions of Americans that would have wanted to hear something in English other than Lady Gaga. That is true. And me personally, been nice to see J-Lo out there. Been nice to see Shakira out there. Been nice to see a few people celebrating their Hispanic heritage, no doubt. But it also would have been nice if some of the songs were in English. That's all. But it was still a good show. Not great compared to Beyonce with Bruno Mars and Coldplay. Bruno Mars by himself. Dre with Mary J. And Snoop and Kendrick Lamar and all that. And it wasn't Kendrick Lamar's performance either. Last year, it wasn't a lot of stuff, but it was good. It was good. And I just wanted to make sure that I said that. Props to Bad Bunny.
Okay. That was a bit long, but I wanted you guys to hear it all. So, what are my thoughts about what this guy said? I think Stephen A. Smith missed the entire point here. This halftime performance had so many different levels to it. First of all, you had a guy in Bad Bunny that was taking a political stance because he was defending Hispanic people, which I think if you're a Hispanic person, you ought to defend the people that look like you. So that's the courageous part. That was courageous on his part. Number two, when he went on the Grammy stage and said "Ice Out," that's when things really ramped up. But prior to that, they were already upset that they chose an Hispanic person to do the show. None of which what Stephen A. Smith brought up. He just read Trump's comments, didn't really react to anything, the insults or nothing like that. It just rolled off his shoulder. And he said he's being fair-minded. A man that called the first black president a monkey, or posted a video of him being depicted as a monkey, can still find it within himself to defend that person. If that's what they think of Obama, Stephen A. Smith, what do they think of you? If that's what they think of Obama, what do they think of you? Number three, rather. Stephen A. Smith is from Queens. You from Queens, New York. You grew up around Spanish people, bro. How was it all of a sudden an issue for you? I grew up in New York. So if I'm not bothered by it, why are you? The reason Stephen A. Smith is bothered by it is because he's speaking through the lens of MAGA. He views the world through that prism. So whenever he's analyzing these things, that's how he's looking at it. He will always find a way to come back to that original predisposition, which is defending these guys. Then he spoke about, it would have been nice if he sang there was some English. I didn't understand what was going on. Listen, man, it was great music. If you go to a club and you're listening to music, even if they're singing English songs and you're having a good time, ain't nobody sitting down listening to every single lyric. You're just having a good time. But more importantly, Bad Bunny was taking a political stance, which was more important than him singing in English. That was more important. How do we know? Because look at the pushback. Look at the blowback. I just finished listening not too long ago, and we have a show coming out tomorrow of Megyn Kelly on the Piers Morgan show, absolutely going off. Absolutely losing her mind. That how is it possible that Bad Bunny was selected to get on the stage? She's here talking about Kid Rock and these guys put together a wholesome Christian halftime show. Kid Rock? Are we talking about this same Kid Rock? Let me pull up the image here, the report here, because maybe she's talking about a different Kid Rock. Are we talking about this Kid Rock? Kid Rock's 2001 song about underage girls resurfaces amid Turning Point USA halftime show. Is this who we're talking about? Is this the song? Is this Kid Rock's 2001 song Cool Daddy Cool has resurfaced following the announcement that the musician will headline the alternative Super Bowl 60 halftime show organized by Turning Point USA. Let's read some of the lyrics, shall we? Now, some people say my mind is blown. I'm cooling like a snow cone. On my cell phone, I'm paid. G, can't call me, just page me. Young ladies, I like them underage. See, some say that's statutory, but I say it's mandatory. But Stephen A. Smith is concerned about whether or not Bad Bunny spoke in English. You're concerned about whether or not Bad Bunny spoke in English? This is the person that TPUSA, let me just a second here. This is the person that TPUSA went up there and chose to represent them, and then they said that they put together a Christian show with Christian messaging. Is this the person? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Let me read Kid Rock's lyrics one more time from the song Underaged. Let me read it for you. Now, some people say my mind is blown. I'm cooling like a cone. On my cell phone, I'm paid. G, can't call me, just page me. Young ladies, I like them underage, see? Some say that's a statutory, but I say it's mandatory. What? What? But it goes back to my original point. When you're busy twerking it up for the president, you don't do your full due diligence. All you ran with was, a Bad Bunny sang in Spanish. Meanwhile, you didn't even bother to go and look at the background of the people that performed at TPUSA. And they called it a Christian halftime show. What did Benny Johnson say on Twitter? Benny Johnson, let me pull it up here. What's his name? How do you spell this guy's name? Benny, how do you spell his name? I looked it up before. Benny Johnson characterized the halftime show. Let me see. Look how Benny Johnson characterized the TPUSA halftime show. He said the Bad Bunny halftime show was one of the worst, was the worst entertainment performance in Super Bowl history. Woke, cringe, unintelligible. Is Spanish not a language? What do you mean unintelligible? People that saw it understood it, that could speak the language. What do you mean unintelligible? You mean you just didn't understand the language? Let's continue on. He then says, unintelligible, foreign, okay, boring. How can it be foreign when Bad Bunny's an American? Can someone make sense of this, please? How can it be foreign when Bad Bunny is an American? And since when did MAGA get all of a sudden transfixed on English speaking? Have you heard Melania Trump speak English? Have you heard her speak English? Since when did you guys get transfixed on how well people can speak English? Who are we kidding here? Then he continues on. I want to read the part of how he characterized TPUSA's performance. In contrast, the TPUSA halftime show was just feel-good banger after banger from American artists. Bad Bunny is an American. An American. From American artists who love this country and who football fans can relate with. It felt like America. Total cultural victory. Legitimately so proud of TPUSA family tonight. Charlie is smiling from heaven. Can someone explain to me why Benny Johnson believes that Kid Rock is more of an American than Bad Bunny? Can someone explain this to me? Stephen A. Smith didn't address any of these points. All he talked about was, well, I can see the fact of what the president's saying. But what about all of the other disrespectful things he said in his comments, Stephen? You don't have anything to say about. This is what I told you guys. I said the Obama line is not there is no line for Stephen A. Smith to defend Trump. There is no line. There is no cutoff point. None whatsoever. The man insulted the first black president. You were upset about it for 30 minutes. 48 hours later, you're back to kissing his butt. And you, as a minority, are siding against people that are prejudiced against minorities. You can't even make this up. You can't even make it up. Who here has listened to Jamaican music? Put a 1 in the chat, because I think Stephen A. Smith is Jamaican or from the West Indies for sure. Put a 1 in the chat if you grew up listening to Jamaican music like I did. Put a 1 in the chat. Right? We all love Jamaican music. All of us. Most of it I don't even understand. Most of it, the slang, not the slang, the patois, most of it I don't understand. I had to get some of my Jamaican friends in school to help me break down some of the words. But did that stop you from dancing to it? Did that stop you from enjoying Sean Paul or all of the other great Jamaican art? Did that stop you? Did we all stop and say, oh man, why can't they sing in proper English so we can understand? Of course not, because it's music. It's great music. And Stephen A. Smith is someone from the island. You would think that he would understand this. But what has happened with Stephen A. Smith is this guy has made a lot of money. He now is trying to cozy up himself with the elite class. That's why you can see him attacking someone like Zoran Mamdani, telling false stories, or rather lying on the guy, talking about he campaigned for free grocery stores when he never said that. He never said that. He said city-controlled, city-owned grocery stores where they can control the prices. Then he started going off on the fact that, oh man, people that support Zoran, they don't want to work. People don't want to work. They want free things. They want a free bus ride. Like as if Stephen A. Smith forgot what it was like to ride the train or catch the bus in New York City. Now that you work on ESPN, now that you're worth tens of $millions, you can no longer relate to the everyday man and the everyday struggle. You now look down on these people. But for you to read the entire comment of the president, you didn't push back on any single thing that he said. Nothing. All you did was agree with him where he said, oh, I wish they spoke in English. Why is this such a big deal to some people that this guy spoke? He said at the end of his show, and I believe the overarching message of his show was, love is a stronger emotion than hate. That was his overall message. How do you have a problem with that? How is it that you reduce all of that down to, oh, he's not speaking English? How can you be that superficial? How? For the people that just came in, I'll play a little bit of what Stephen A. Smith had to say. I'm not going to play his entire comments because it's quite long, but I'm going to play some of what he had to say here. All right? So let's get to it. Just a second. Let me skip this ad here, and I'll play it for you.
It's not to me personally, but it is.
You got to be joking. I literally just skipped this ad and explained it again. Okay.
And that was the Super Bowl halftime show by Bad Bunny, which was primarily sang almost entirely in Spanish. We saw Lady Gaga performing, obviously in English. We saw them dancing. I got to admit, the vibe was fly. I really, really like the vibe. You understand what I'm saying? This is why the Hispanic population, my brothers and sisters, they should be loved. I'm telling you right now, they know how to party. They know how to have a damn good time. Ain't no doubt about it. He had that vibe. It was flowing the whole nine. I love how the president of the United States was acting like he wasn't going to watch, but he was watching. There's a video out on social media of him actually watching the Super Bowl halftime show. And by the way, while he was watching it, then he naturally took time to insult it in the aftermath of revealing that he watched it. Because we know that's what Trump is inclined to do. There's no doubt about it. Bad Bunny, here's what he had to say. The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever. It makes no sense. Is an affront to the greatness of America. It doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying. And the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history. There is nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show. And watch, it will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what is going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule. Make America great again. President Donald J. Trump. Let me be very candid, yet very straight up about what I'm going to say. I will tell you that I'm going to elaborate a little bit more extensively on my YouTube show about some other things the president has said just over the last couple of days, along with some other stuff, but this ain't the platform for politics. Here's what I would say about the Super Bowl halftime show. I'll address.
Notice how he said nothing about what the president said. Let's continue on.
President Trump and his best stock market comment and best 401ks in history comment. Oh, I'll address that. But he does have a point where he says that people, and when he alludes to the mess of a halftime show, it will get great reviews from the fake news media. You're going to have people that are going to be raving about the halftime show simply because they want to be anti-Trump and anti-right and all of this other stuff. That ain't me. I don't give a damn. I'm fair-minded down the middle. I think it was a damn good show. I think the vibe was fly. I agree with J.J. Watt, former NFL star, future Hall of Famer, that said, I didn't understand that. I understand the word they were saying. No. Was it a pretty damn good vibe? Oh, hell yes. He's absolutely right. I 1,000% flow with J.J. Watt on this. But that first comment, here's my only reticence. You're in the United States of America, and you perform damn near an entire performance in Spanish. Boy, do I wish. I mean, I'm
okay. Then he goes on to say some other nonsense. I can't take any more of it. You guys can go watch it on this channel. I can't take any more of it. Look, man, we're finding out a lot about various people now. As Trump has taken office this second term, we're finding out a lot about various people, right? I certainly am. And what I found out about myself is that I feel much stronger about my convictions than I do about any friendship or relationship that I have if I truly believe in the things that I'm saying here. I don't care what friends I lost, what friends I'm going to lose, what subscribers I lost, what subscribers I'm going to lose. At this moment in time, if you're taking these weak positions on serious issues, I have no time for you and I don't have the patience for you. If you're afraid to take a firm position in this day and age, you shouldn't even have a microphone. You shouldn't. Playing both sides of it, I thought it was a great show, but then he should have sung in English. How could you have thought it was a great show, but you could sing it? Then it wasn't a great show. It wasn't a great show because you were bothered by the fact he wasn't singing in English. So it couldn't have been a great show. That's you playing both sides. Both sides. But what about the part where he said the dancing was disgusting? He was referring to salsa. You don't have anything to say about that? Nothing. You have nothing to say about how this guy just insulted an entire culture of people. You said nothing about it. All you got was, oh, he said that there wasn't enough English. You didn't get any. He said this, they didn't show any excellent. No, you didn't push back on any of that. And this just goes to show you there is no line with these people. Megyn Kelly, for those of you just tuning in, we have a show coming out tomorrow of her interview on Piers Morgan. Towards the tail end of their talk, she starts going off on Jay-Z, who I'm not a fan of. And like, I listened to his music growing up, but I'm not like a Jay-Z fan in any capacity. She starts going off on Jay-Z. How does Jay-Z, listen to Megyn Kelly, how does Jay-Z get to decide who performs at the halftime show when he has been named in association with Jeffrey Epstein? You cannot even make this stuff up. Megyn Kelly is upset that Jay-Z had the power to choose Bad Bunny as a halftime performer, and he should have had that power because of his association with Epstein. Meanwhile, she is defending President Trump, who I last heard was named in the Epstein files 38,000 times. 38,000 times. And she's still a supporter of his. But because it's Jay-Z and he don't got the complexion that she likes, all of a sudden she wants to talk about Epstein. This is Megyn Kelly. We have a show coming out tomorrow about this. Then to make matters worse, these folks at TPUSA are talking about, oh, we're putting together a good Christian halftime show. And the headline performer of this show was Kid Rock. For the people that just tuned in, let me read you a report that came out about Kid Rock going into the Super Bowl of some of his unearthed lyrics. Kid Rock's 2001 song about underage girls resurfaces amid Turning Point USA halftime show. Let me read the lyrics. Now, some people say, my mind is blown. I'm cooling like a snow cone. On my cell phone, I'm paid, G. Can't call me, just page me. Young ladies, I like them underage, see? Some say that's statutory, but I say it's mandatory. What? This is the person that Megyn Kelly and Benny Johnson and these jokers are talking about, the spearheaded a Christian American halftime show. They have no issue with Kid Rock's music, but they have issue with the guy that sang in Spanish that was talking about unity. You can't make it up. To close out this live, ladies and gentlemen, look, man, it is clear to see they don't like Spanish people. And the number one reason these people don't like Spanish people is because they believe that they're going to be the majority. Period, full stop. That's what all of this is about. And for those Hispanic voters that were, Latinos for Trump, they got a wake-up call. You should have known better. I told you I spared no one. Y'all should have known better. You should have known better. You misread the room. You thought if I vote for Trump, somehow we're spared because we're closer in pigmentation with them, not realizing there's a very exclusive group and you guys aren't a part of it. That's what you found out. When they say white, they mean white. That's what they mean. And a lot of them are getting their wake-up call. How they voted for Trump in the first place, I don't understand. I don't understand. Did any of you read Project 25 at all? Because I am flummoxed and dumbfounded at the fact that people are surprised at what he's doing. Let me go off on a quick tangent here. Andrew Schultz, the comedian from the show, I think the Flagrant podcast, another bloody idiot. Excuse my French. A bloody idiot. This guy endorsed a candidate, helped get him elected, and then started researching the candidate. Do you know how much of a dum-dum you have to be to endorse a presidential candidate, help the guy get elected, and then start discovering the things that he said he was going to do when he got elected? Now, all of a sudden, Andrew Schultz is surprised by what he sees going on. Now, all of a sudden, he can't believe his eyes and what he's seeing. Well, maybe when you interviewed him and you actually asked him some serious questions instead of cracking jokes with him and took the fact that this is a presidential election seriously and understood the gravitas of the moment, maybe you wouldn't be in this situation now. Now, would you? You have these people that are losing supporters by the day. By the day. They did absolutely no homework on Trump. Now, all of a sudden, you see these Trump voters. Well, I can't believe he did this, man. I can't believe grocery prices are going up. I don't understand what's going on. Now, all of a sudden, one of the most important demographics that helped the president get elected in his 2 terms that he's been in office, non-degree people with non-degree holders, he won that demographic block. He's almost lost all of them. He's minus 9 points with them. With them. Do you know why? Because non-degree holders, if people with degrees and educated people with jobs and all of that, if they're suffering in this economy, what do you think they're going through? What do you think? What do you think they're going through? You're trying to impact the trade deficit. Oh, I want to impact the trade deficit. You know, we buy more from them than they buy from us. You're a consumer nation. We export services. Oh, we buy more. So what we're going to do is we want to balance out the trade deficit. Okay, Mr. President, what are you planning on doing with this? You know what we're going to do? We're going to deploy tariffs. And all of the economic the economists said, wait a minute. Tariffs can be inflationary. Number one. Number two, it's the consumers that are going to take the immediate hit. And all throughout the presidential campaign, there were actually supporters of Trump that thought that the foreign companies pay the tariffs, which explains to you why they're in the position that they are. For you to think that the foreign companies are paying the tariffs, you deserve to be in the situation that you're in. So all of these people are getting their wake-up call. Next time, when it's time to vote, you'll pay attention. You'll actually read what these people economic policies are, what their foreign policies are. You spend time to actually research it. People are talking about they can't afford it home. Did you read Kamala Harris's proposals for housing for first-time buyers and people that are just starting? You did none of that. You did none of that. All you were focused on was, they're going to close up, they're going to lock up the border. So the people that voted for the borders to be closed, let me ask you, how is your life doing right now as a result of that? How is your life improved as a result of that? How you feel better? Yeah, we got rid of them. Yeah, we locked the border. You feel better, but how's your life doing? How? So to me, man, I have no patience for these people. None whatsoever. You said that's why Martin Luther King talked about judging people by the content of their character. You can't fix stupid. Unfortunately, you can't. Unfortunately, you can't. And these are serious matters. If you're letting a comedian influence you about who you're going to vote for as a president, you're not a serious person. You're not. You're not a serious person. Oh, big shout out to Too Raw for TV. He said people voted their fears and their prejudice, and now they're finding out. Now they're finding out. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are my thoughts on this. Excuse my rant. We got some videos dropping a little bit later tomorrow. Appreciate you guys for being here. And you guys have a nice evening. We catch you tomorrow. Have a good one. Have a good one. Peace.